Let's rewind back to 1921. Radio was this newfangled technology, and two brothers, Theodore and Milton Deutschmann, decided to open a little shop in Boston. They called it Radio Shack, a name that at the time made perfect sense. It was a hit with hobbyists and tinkerers, offering radio parts and equipment by mail order. Fast forward a few decades, and Radio Shack transformed from a niche store to a household name. They rode the wave of each new technology, from transistor radios to CB radios to those giant car phones that screamed 1980s. Remember the TRS-80? That early personal computer that looked like a beige typewriter? Yeah, that was Radio Shack. They were at the forefront of the personal computer revolution, bringing affordable technology to the masses. By the 1980s and 90s, Radio Shack was the place to go for electronics. Need a new stereo system? Radio Shack. Batteries for your Walkman? Radio Shack. Cables for your VCR? You guessed it, Radio Shack. They were everywhere, and business was booming. At their peak, Radio Shack was a retail behemoth. By the early 2000s, they had over 7,000 stores across the United States. They were a staple in malls and shopping centers. Their shelves stocked with everything from batteries and cables to mobile phones and remote-controlled cars. Their brand was synonymous with electronics. They were even the official electronics retailer for NASA during the Space Shuttle program. Now that's what you call street cred. But little did they know the ground beneath them was about to shift. The very technology that had fueled their rise would ultimately contribute to their downfall. The new millennium brought about a seismic shift in the retail landscape. The internet, once a novelty, became a shopping juggernaut. Suddenly, consumers could buy electronics from the comfort of their own homes. Websites like Amazon offered a wider selection, often at lower prices. And then came the smartphones. Remember those clunky car phones Radio Shack used to sell? Yeah, smartphones made those look like relics from the Stone Age. But smartphones did more than just render older technology obsolete. They changed the way we shopped. Now, you could walk into a Best Buy, browse for a new TV, compare prices on your phone, and order it from Amazon right then and there. Ouch. Section 4, the 2015 So Long for Sale signs, a harbinger of things to come. By the 2010s, Radio Shack was facing an existential crisis. They were slow to adapt to the changing retail landscape. Their stores, once bustling with customers, now felt dated and cluttered. They tried to compete on price, but they couldn't match the deep pockets of online retailers. Their attempts to innovate, like their foray into mobile phone service, were too little, too late. In 2015, the inevitable happened. Radio Shack, burdened by debt and declining sales, so long for sale signs. It was a major blow, a sign that even once mighty retailers weren't immune to the forces reshaping the industry. But it wasn't quite the end. A glimmer of hope emerged from the ashes of $0. Section 5. A glimmer of hope. The General Wireless acquisition. Enter General Wireless, a hedge fund that swooped in and bought over half of Radio Shack's remaining stores. They promised a turnaround, a reinvention of the brand for the digital age. They so long underperforming stores revamped the product line and tried to focus on what Radio Shack was once known for, knowledgeable staff and a focus on customer service. They even partnered with Sprint, hoping to leverage the carrier's mobile phone business to drive foot traffic to their stores. But it was a long shot, a desperate attempt to revive a brand that had lost its way. And as we all know, sometimes you can't go back. Section 6, the second So Long for Sale signs, sealing Radio Shack's fate. Sadly, the General Wireless rescue attempt was short-lived. Just 2 years later, in March 2017, the remaining Radio Shack So Long signs again. This time it was clear there would be no coming back. The retail landscape had become even more cutthroat. Online retailers were stronger than ever, and even big box stores were struggling to keep up. The partnership with Sprint, which was supposed to be their saving grace, had failed to deliver the hoped-for results. Radio Shack was now seen as a relic of the past, a reminder of a bygone era when you had to actually go to a store to buy electronics.